Aloha interwebs, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Friday, so we're going to be doing some gameplay. We're going to do another episode of Adventures in the LFR! Yay! So, I actually got a chance to jump into the newest, well, it's new for me, opened up the Pinnacle of Storms. So I actually was able to jump in there and get some stuff done. And this is actually a longer video than I planned on it to be, but I didn't want to cut too much of the fights out because there's actually a lot going on in some of these. So with that said, let's jump in there. The first boss you come to is Iron Quan, and this is like your typical, not like your typical, it's set up like boss as. Basically this guy is riding a mount, and you have to kill the mounts, and there's 3 of them, and then eventually you get to the boss. And each of the mounts has its own, introduces its own kind of mechanic to the fight. And the first one, basically it's just stay out of the fire. He throws a hammer and he makes these fiery lines, and the tank just needs to position the boss so that people don't have to stand in the fire to DPS the boss. And once that mount goes down, you can DPS the boss a little bit, and then the next mount comes down, and then you have to defeat that mount. And this one is pretty similar to the first one, but what I wanted to kind of go over was this mechanic where the boss flies up into the air, and then there's all these little tornadoes, and of course, standing in a tornado is bad, which I will demonstrate now. Is you get stunned and it'll carry you away, and I actually had a berserker rage to get out of that. I was just wanting to see if it would work, and it did. And then he comes down, and you can chase him down and fight him, but you basically stay away from the tornadoes, and then the tornadoes stay up for the rest of the encounter. And again, there's just more crap on the ground that you're not supposed to stand in. And then eventually, when you get this mount down, another mount, yet another mount will come out, and the boss will jump on top of that mount. And that one, it's not it's annoying more than anything else. I'm sure during all of this there's AoE going on and things like that, so as far as like tanking it, it's just putting it in position. As far as like healing it, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass for healers, because there's always seems to be a lot going on. But the boss puts up a shield, and you have to DPS the portion of the boss that obviously isn't being covered by the shield. And that's not the annoying part about it, is that he puts these things on the floor, and they're like basically just like the fire lines. There's frost lines, and it'll trap you if you get put in it. I know this because I got put in it, and it didn't get out of the way. And the annoying part about it is that, and I don't know if I'm taking damage during this particular portion from standing in the frost, but you get frozen in place. And all you can do is basically spin it around in a circle. So if you're a melee and you're DPSing the boss, and the boss has to be moved for some reason, but you got stuck in the frost, you won't be able to DPS them because it'll be stuck. And that's what happened to me, except that the tank was actually able to keep it in a position where I could still keep doing DPS. So that's an annoying thing. I hate not being able to move during fights. It's annoying. And then that mount dies, and the boss drops down off of him, and then you just tank and spank the boss. There's some AoE effects that he's doing, and I'm not sure if those frost lines are still active or not, or if it's just the graphics. But as you'll be able to see here, the tornadoes that have been going on since the second mount jump into the fight. They come over, they throw different things at the raid. This one has like an AoE like flame thing, so I'm assuming it's just bad to stand near those things. Yeah, those are the trickiest parts of that particular boss. And this next boss, this is the twin consorts, and I wanted to be able to show you this fight during this video, but when I initially went through this particular LFR, I went in blind, and I didn't know any of the fight details really, but that's standard for me. I usually just, oh, something new, let's go do it. And So that's what happened. But also, I forgot to FRAPs this whole entire fight. So I actually had to go back in during another time and do this so I could record it and throw it in there. So this particular fight, even though I had already done it, and that doesn't mean I actually did it right. It's just it was recorded during a different period than the original run of my blind run through, because I fail at hitting the FRAPs button, and that's pretty much it. But that being said, twin consorts. Basically, there's two bosses, and luckily for this, for all intents and purposes, for this one, the tank marked which one everyone should be DPSing first, which was the green one. And there's a fire one that is kind of popping in and out randomly throughout. I don't know if that boss needs to be off tanked. It seems like it's a pretty impossible thing, since it's basically teleporting in and out of the fight throughout. I think that once we get the green boss down to kind of a certain percentage, they switch roles, which means that green boss will be the one kind of teleporting randomly throughout the arena here, and you switch to the other boss. And when you switch to that boss, he's got some mechanics that make it a little hard as a melee class to keep up with him. He does a charge and runs back and things of that nature, so it's kind of more pain in the ass boss, in my opinion, than the other one. And then once you get this boss down to a certain percentage, they both kind of stay relatively in the same area. So there was some cleaving and things like that that could happen. But this particular kill, the raid decides to stay on the second boss until the second boss is all the way dead. And so you don't stand in the fire. I'm standing in the fire. That's my thing, stand in the fire. Man, I suck at this game. Anyways, we just decided to stay on the second boss after switching and get that boss down all the way, and then switch to the initial boss, which was the first one that everyone started DPSing. And it seemed to work out pretty well. There's crystal things on the ground, and this boss seems to want to beat them up. I don't know what. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that he wants to do that, if we're trying to stop him from doing it. I don't know. I was just following the group and mostly DPSing the boss. I'm sure in the regular version of this encounter there's some kind of other specific mechanics that are supposed to be taking place, but as we all know, the LFR doesn't always roll out that way. So for all intents and purposes, for this LFR, I just stayed on the boss, chased it around the room when the tank moved it, and tried not to stand in anything that seemed like you shouldn't be standing in, since that seems to be the downfall of my LFR experiences as of late, standing in crap on the ground that you're not obviously not supposed to be standing in. So that's how this one went, over and over and over again, until the boss went down. And like I said, this isn't my initial blind run. It's the that particular fight, the second fight, happened during a different time. Now we switch back to my initial blind run of this particular boss, which is Lei Shen, and he's like a really big thunder guy. And this is actually this particular LFR group's third attempt to kill this guy. I'm not gonna blame it on me. Then maybe there's a lot of other people in this LFR group that are like me, just jumped in and decided to give it a shot without actually doing any kind of research. But the basic gist of this boss is he's going to run around this platform from corner to corner to corner, kind of gaining power from these orbs. And he does a lot of AoE and a lot of leaving things on the ground that you're not supposed to be standing in. And so I tried not to stand in those. And the raid leader of this particular group had put out a raid call saying, group this, group that, group this, stand on these colors. And I didn't know when that was supposed to happen until the boss teleported to the middle of the room, and I was like, oh, I guess we're supposed to go stand on the colors. So I ran to purple because I was supposed to stand on the purple. And again, this is our third attempt. So during the first two attempts, while I was standing on my designated color, I noticed that nobody was really talking. They just said stand on your color. I noticed that there's going to be some kind of effect that happens to one of the players standing by your color, and nobody moved away from that person. So I got it on this particular thing, and I wanted to run away instead of blasting all the people, but I think it's a damage that gets shared, and if you're standing by yourself, you just die. So everyone stayed on me, and then also there's some, it shows you a little swirly spot, and if you go and stand on it when the lightning bolt lands on you, it doesn't spawn an ad. But I found that out the hard way in a previous attempt where 2 or 3 of those things landed right around the people that I was with, and it spawned ads. So stand on those things, because I think it's supposed to stop the ads from spawning. And it's basically like that. It's chase the guy around the ring, don't stand on stuff you're not supposed to stand on. He goes to the middle of the room, go to a corner, absorb stuff, then back on the boss. The only thing that I wanted to kind of point out is this wind that gets swept over the platform. That's like an added mechanic towards the end of the fight that got put in there that wasn't there earlier. And I'm not a healer, so I'm assuming that as the encounter goes on, more and more damage is stacking from AoEs and things like that, because the boss is getting tougher and harder to kill. And the wind is not making it easy to stand in one place and kill the boss. But attempt 3, boss goes down. And I still don't think I did a bad job for not knowing what the hell was going on in there while everything was going on in there. But there you go, guys. That was which one was that? Pinnacle of Storms. Thanks for stopping by the channel, interwebs. I appreciate it. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Catch you guys in the next video.